Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
Close your eyes. Imagine a room that doesn't just look beautiful, it feels alive. The lighting is perfect, the energy is electric, and the scent of gourmet creation is in the air. Now look around. You aren't just checking the kitchen or hovering over the guest list. You're in the moment. You're the life of the party. Welcome to the world of irresistible events and catering. In a city built on spectacle, we specialize in spectacular. At Irresistible Events and Catering, we just don't fill plates, we curate memories because our philosophy is simple, elegant, and absolute. We plan, cater, and style any event. Why settle for ordinary when you can have the irresistible? Elevate your event at irresistibleeventslv.com. This is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM. Las Vegas, looking for a winner-takes-all way to burn off that extra energy? Welcome to Bouncy World, the ultimate climate-controlled indoor playground. We're stacking the deck with specials all week long. Cool off with Frosty Tuesdays featuring ice-cold treats for the kids, then join us for free popcorn Thursdays because nothing beats a salty snack after a giant bounce. And at Bouncy World, we believe every child deserves their moment to soar. Join us every Sunday from 9 to 11 a.m. for Sensory Sundays. We dim the lights and turn off the music to create a calm, inclusive space designed specifically for our newer, diverse community. At Bouncy World, we fly high. From high-flying fun to inclusive play, we've got it all. Visit us at bouncyworldlv.com to book your party or check our open play hours. Bouncy World, jump into the fun today.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Hey, this is The Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. to listen to dope people, dope topics, and dope vibes. Hey, this is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, where we bring you the best in hip-hop, R&B, pop, and talk. Tune in. Hey, thank you for tuning in to The Flow. You are here with Her Flow right here on Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. You guys, thank you for being here. Every Thursday, I'm here at 4 p.m. You guys know the assignment. Make sure you follow it. You guys, today I have some really important things to talk about, really important issues, and we have to really understand when we elect an official that's going to do a job for us, we got to make sure that we do our research because guess what? You guys don't want what we got already in this administration, okay? I'm just saying, if you don't believe in what I'm saying, scroll on by, okay? So today we have an amazing woman who has done very, very great things in the community, and she is running for a judge for the Municipal Court 1. Okay, Municipal Court 1. Her name is Ray Kennedy. Welcome, Ray. How are you?
I am wonderful, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right here in Las Vegas, too, mind you.
Yes, right here in Las Vegas.
Are you from Las Vegas, Ray?
I am not. I'm from the Midwest, but I call Las Vegas my soul city.
Okay, tell me where you're from. I'm from Gary, Indiana. That's why I'm saying Midwest. Where are you from?
I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So it's about an hour north of Chicago.
Okay.
And I'm familiar with Gary because I went to the University of Michigan. So when we drive back and forth to Michigan, we would go through Gary, Indiana. But if you blink, you miss Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Driving
you go right into Chicago.
Exactly. So, born and raised, went off to school at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, went back to Milwaukee for law school, and then I relocated here 12 years ago. I love everything about the city of Las Vegas.
Me too.
Good.
We're both on the same page. I've been here for probably about 23, 24 years.
Oh, you
now.
beat me then. Okay.
Yeah,
you
about
got
23,
me.
24 years. So we're going to get started because we got to get to the meat of the subject and the tea. And so I got a lot of questions I want to ask you. But first, let me give you I have to give you your roses, right? So Ray is a college graduate. She has to be into this field, right? You have to be a college graduate. But let me tell you, she's a candidate for Las Vegas Municipal Court, Department 1. Her education, she has a dual bachelor's degree in psychology and sociology from the University of Michigan. She also has earned her social worker's degree, okay, and have a Juris Doctorate. A Juris Doctorate. That means you had to do 3 to 4 years before you could get into law school, correct?
So I did, yeah. So I did 2 undergraduate degrees. Then I got my master's degree in social work. And then I decided not to go straight to law school. I decided to work as a social worker. Okay. So I was a non-traditional law school student. I went to school in the evening and on weekends. And it took me 5 years to get my law degree. So if you go full-time, you can get your law degree in 3 years. If you go part-time, the school will allow you to take up to 6 years. I got mine in 5 years.
Wow.
And so to run for judge here in Nevada, you have to be a licensed attorney in the state. And in order to be a licensed attorney in the state, you have to have graduated from an accredited law school. And then pass the bar exam here.
Okay, got it. And you did all of that.
I did all of that.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
So what I want to talk about is I want to ask you, and there's some deep questions, so roll with me here,
all right,
okay?
I'm with you.
So can you walk us through your journey of what inspired you to run for a municipal court judge?
That's a great question because I was not always interested in being a judge. I actually really love representing clients in court. I really like the fight. I like advocating for people. So I've been an attorney for almost 22 years. Half of my legal career has been advocating for individual clients. So I've been a public defender, and now I currently work at Legal Aid Center. I represent kids in court, and I have the privilege of giving them a voice. The other half of my career has been advocating for system changes, mostly criminal legal system changes. And I enjoy that as well. Part of that was working at family court. I was a family court administrator, and then I went to work at municipal court as an administrator. And a lot of people don't know that administrators exist in the criminal legal system or in the civil legal system. And so they'll say, well, what is that? What do you do as an administrator?
Right.
The administrators supervise all of the people who work at a courthouse. So when you walk in and you have a clerk working there who's taking the money from you, or you have people who are working in the courtroom, you have marshals in the court, all of the employees in a courtroom have to be supervised by people. They have to be hired and trained and supervised. That's what the court administrator does. In addition, the court administrator sets the policies, the procedures, and the practices for the court, so that everybody who comes through is subject to those policies, procedures, and practices. And so when I started working at Las Vegas Municipal Court, it was there that I decided to run because even though I had all these years of experience, it was the most dysfunctional court I had ever worked in. And pretty much every policy, practice, or procedure that I brought to the judges that I knew and believed would make our community safer and it would help with the people who were coming through the court, they said, no, we're not going to do any of that.
Okay.
And eventually I realized it's not that I'm not explaining it well. It's not that these are bad ideas. It's that they just don't care. They don't care enough to put these things into place. And I realized, okay, you guys are the gatekeepers for positive change. So if I want positive change for our community, this community that I love, then I got to have to become a judge.
You got to be the change you want to see.
I got to be the change I want to see.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing that with me as well, too. And also, I know that it's really hard as an African-American woman sometimes to come into a place where you're the minority in that place and make changes. Because people don't necessarily want to see that as a change.
They don't.
But however, you are willing to make that change for the court. And I met you, and I was just so impressed by what you were saying and how you wanted to change. You didn't just come here by happenstance. I actually researched and said, you know what, I really want to have her. And I hunted you down and said, hey, Ray, can you be on the show? And so you're here. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm thankful for that. That shows the community that you are willing to.
I appreciate that you reached out to me because I promise you were on my list. When you called, I was not lying to you when I said, I have a list that is like the link of my arm of things to do, right? And I try to get to that list every day, but you were on my list to text.
Oh, thank you.
To reach back out to.
Yeah.
And I'm just so glad that you reached out to me before I got to reach out to you. And I feel so thankful that you
you're
asked me to
welcome.
come on the show.
Yes,
I really am
yes,
so
yes.
thankful.
I wouldn't have had it any other way because I feel like, in our community, I want to see more of us. Okay?
Absolutely.
Number one, represented. And I
Yes.
want to make sure that we are represented fairly.
Yes.
Okay. So that was one of the reasons, too, why I said, hey, I have to have her on the show because you represent all of that. Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, we have such rich diversity in our community, and it should be reflected in our positions of authority. It should be reflected in our positions of leadership.
Right.
What I think is missing a lot of times is empathy, compassion. And what I don't think that a lot of people in leadership understand is that our institutions carry history. So even though an individual might be walking into the courtroom for the first time, they've heard stories, right? Their dad, their uncle, their mom, their cousin have had bad experiences in those institutions, in those spaces. And they walk in already feeling as though they're not going to get a fair
The cards
shake.
are stacked against.
The deck is stacked. And so, and what we call that in the law is procedural justice. When people walk away feeling as though they were not given a fair shake, it taints the entire system, right? It makes people feel like that the system isn't fair. And so it is important that we have people that we elect to those positions that go the extra mile to make sure that people walk away feeling seen, heard, and understood. I have represented clients, like I said, half of my career. And what I have learned is the outcome almost becomes secondary to, did you listen to me? Was I able to express myself to you? When I was representing individuals in criminal cases, I could have somebody that had a case that I might have met them for 10 minutes and I got their case dismissed. And they would walk out completely dissatisfied.
Amazing.
And I would think, but your case is dismissed. But you know why? Because I didn't have time to listen to them. But I'm handling a homicide case. I'm going to be with them for months on end. I'm going to see them multiple times. And maybe they get convicted and they got to go to prison. But I'm getting letters from them in prison saying, you were the best lawyer I've ever had. Why? Because I had time to listen.
Exactly.
They just want to know that you care. They want to know that you are hearing them out as a human being. And the truth is that Las Vegas Municipal Court has the time to do that. Case filings have been going down for a decade. Crime across the city, in fact, across our country, Sheriff McMahill will agree with that, has been going down. We have the time to give people their opportunity to be heard in court. We just don't. We rush through cases unnecessarily, and then people walk out feeling as though they weren't heard, seen, or understood. And then we scratch our heads as though we don't understand why people mistrust our system. Well, we know why they mistrust our system, and we can do something about it. And it's an easy fix.
Yes, yes. And one thing I want to reiterate that you said was that people walk out feeling unheard. And there's a history of that. So you're not just saying that throughout
Correct.
the history of it. We can go way back
That's
and
right.
understand that the courts have been unfair.
That's right.
And we have not had a jury of our peers.
That's
right. And so what you are saying is absolutely correct. So thank you for reiterating that for me. Also, now we're going to get into this. And this is a big question. This is a deep question, but I know you have the answers for it. So that's why I'm going to ask you. How do you define justice? And what does a fair courtroom look like to you? And you kind of expounded on that a few minutes ago, but what does a fair courtroom look like for you?
So for me, a fair courtroom is one where a person feels welcome. It's really that simple. Because the truth about justice is what I think justice is really doesn't matter. What I think we have lost in our court system is finding out what justice is to the individuals involved. That's what matters. We make too many assumptions about what a victim thinks justice is going to be. We make too many assumptions about what the individual charged thinks justice is going to be. When I was practicing criminal defense, I would often ask my client, what do you think the judge should do in this situation? Just to do some level setting. Right. Let me find out if my client is being realistic with what the outcome might be or not. And more often than not, they would give me an answer that was way more severe than what I knew the judge was going to go with, right? Because you eventually learn judges' patterns. And that's one of the things that you want in a judge is you want consistency.
Right.
When I'm practicing, I would rather have a judge that's makes decisions that I don't agree with, but at least they make them consistently, than a judge that I can't predict what they're going to do, because then I can't counsel my client, right? I can't tell them what to do. So oftentimes they were harder on themselves than the judge would ever be. When I do classes with kids, I go to and talk with kids, and we'll do like the Goldilocks trial, right? And so you'll ask the kids, okay, we'll break them up, and half of the kids will be the prosecutor and half the kids will be the defense attorneys. The prosecutor, I mean, they're talking about Goldilocks needs to go away for years, okay, for breaking in and eating the food and breaking the bed. And oftentimes people are harder on themselves than the judge ever will be. That's what I think people don't get. I think our community has this idea that most people who have engaged in wrongdoing, that they're always trying to get away with it. No, there are so few people who wake up in the morning and say, I just feel like going out and committing a crime today.
Absolutely.
I just want to go out and be a bad person today. That's just not how it happens. And so as the kind of judge I want to be is to say, Mr. Johnson, Miss Campbell, what do you think I should do? Right? I want you to put yourself in my shoes for a moment. What do you think I should do? Because it helps them to understand that I have to look at it from a ton of different perspectives, right? But it also helps me understand whether they have considered certain things, because I want to get a picture of whether they're actually thinking about the harm that they've caused, because restorative practices is really important to me. And then when it comes to the victim, we make a lot of assumptions. We often assume victims just want people to go to jail. And that has been the exact opposite of my experience, especially when the victim has a relationship with the person who has harmed them. Oftentimes, that's not what they want. What they want is a person to get help. They want the person to have access to resources. They want the person to be able to have a lifeline. They don't want jail. But we make the assumption that everybody's out for retribution, right? They want their pound of flesh. That's often not what they want. What they want is, Judge, can you get them a job? Judge, can you help them get counseling? Can you get them clean, right? Especially or in DV, can you just get them to stop hitting me? They know that jail doesn't do anything, right? Housing someone for a certain amount of time, it stops. And there may be a circumstance where that is what has to happen, but it doesn't rehabilitate. It doesn't educate. It doesn't treat. It doesn't help. So what I think is justice takes a back seat to what I want to hear from the person who has harmed our community and the person who has been harmed thinks justice is. I need to listen far more than I speak as a judge.
I love that.
I want to hear from them what justice is. But in terms of what do I think is going to be, how do I create a fair courtroom? To me, a fair courtroom is when people walk in believing that they're going to get a fair shake. So a welcoming environment where they walk in and they walk out saying, okay, this is what she decided, but you know what? She let me speak. You know, she let me say what I had to say. That to me will mean I've created a fair environment.
Okay. And you know, this is a thing I want to add to that, if I may.
Absolutely.
I really believe that people are already intimidated by having to go to court anyway. It's a scary thing.
It is.
You know, you're in there with other people that you don't know. And if you know that you're guilty or not, you already have to go to try to prove yourself. And most times they say, oh, you're innocent before proven guilty, but not in this. No,
right.
No, I don't think that this is happening in our courtrooms today. And this is why it was so important for me to bring you on, because I saw the equality and I heard the equality in your voice and what you were speaking about. And that was important to me. And I'm sure it's going to be important to everybody else that's voting.
Oh, I certainly hope so. Right. Yeah, we're very divided when it comes to, in particular, when somebody is accused of committing a crime and whether they should be in jail while their case is going on or whether they shouldn't be in jail. That's a very divisive issue right now. Right. And I am the kind of person that looks at what does the research tell us about what's effective? What does the research tell us about whether it is better for our community to lock people up during that time or not better for our community? So I often say I lead with data and I follow with compassion. And the research overwhelmingly tells us that most people will be just fine in the community while they're waiting for their case to be settled. Because number one, they do have that presumption of innocence, right? So let's say you are accused of a crime and you haven't done it.
Right.
You would feel so outraged to be sitting in a jail cell waiting to prove that you didn't do it, which is the opposite of what our system is supposed to be. But also, we know that most people are going to be just fine being released and going back to their everyday life while their case goes through our system. If our cases move through the system as they should, a lot faster and more efficiently, maybe we wouldn't be so upset if people spent some time in jail. Although I'm very cognizant of the fact that 24 hours in jail has negative consequences, right? Being a criminal defense attorney and going to visit your clients in jail, just knowing I'm going to get out, but hearing those doors close behind me, it does something to you. So I think maybe if we all took a little field trip to the jail, some people might feel a little differently. The smell, the sound, the visuals.
Yeah.
The space, all of that does something to you that I don't think people realize. And this is before you've even been convicted of anything. You've just been accused. Somebody said you did something. You haven't even actually been convicted of it yet. It hasn't been proven that you did it. So all of that is important to keep in mind when you make these decisions. Judges have so much power. They can change the trajectory of someone's life. You have the ability to take away someone's liberty, right? You should think about that twice.
Absolutely,
you
I agree.
should take that seriously.
I agree.
And with misdemeanors, people think it's no big deal because it's just 6 months. You know how much can happen in 6 months?
In 24 hours.
In 24 hours,
Yeah,
right? Let
yeah.
alone 6
Yeah,
months. It is an awesome power that you have to take seriously, and that you have to really care about the decisions that you're making.
Yes. And how do you think history has shaped our court system here in Nevada, where we do have those issues right now in the courtroom and where people are maybe not getting their voice heard? How do you think history here in Las Vegas, Nevada has shaped that?
It's really interesting here. So when I first moved here, I was like, there in some respects, Nevada is ahead of its time, but in a lot of respects, it's way behind. There was a case that was litigated not long ago. It's called Valdez versus Jimenez, or Jimenez versus Valdez. They call it the Valdez case. And it's the case that says that individuals have the right to have an individual determination of their bail. When I practiced in Wisconsin, that was settled law decades ago. That wasn't even a question. And then I come here and it's like, that was just settled not long ago. And the public defender's office had to fight really hard to get that up to the Supreme Court, to get that as the law of the land. So I was like, wow. So you mean like not that long ago, people were just sitting in jail and judges could just summarily deny bail requests? That's bananas to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And it's happening like even now.
You're
in
right.
places,
It is
right?
happening even now. After that decision came out, you still have jurisdictions that are not doing that in a timely fashion. So, the history is sort of like, it's almost like history is still being made right now, right? When I think about the fact that I would be the first Black female to serve on this court, that is wild to me in 2026.
Yeah, we're in 2026. But, you would think that, and even with me, and I look at some of the things that are going on in our administration right now, right? I am just behooved at the fact that we are still voting on things that are so archaic. And I'm wondering to myself, why?
Yeah.
Right. And so do you think some of it I know a lot of it has to do economic reasons, but I also know a lot of it has to do with colorism and things like that. And so I that's why I'm just so happy to see other races. African Americans, especially I'm an African American woman. I take pride.
Absolutely.
But I'm so excited to see you running. And I think people should take a second, third, fourth look at you, at what you're saying. And this is why you're here.
Thank you.
We're not going to go to commercial break yet, but I am in a minute. But I just want to ask you this. I have another question that I do want to bring out before we go. Let's talk about reform And I want to know what specific changes and reforms would you pursue to make the court more efficient and transparent?
So one of the things that I would do in terms of transparency is I want to create a community advisory council made up of people from across the valley. I want folks who are community leaders, community members, people with lived experience from municipal court. I want experts from private industry. I want to create this council that will meet on a quarterly basis. I want to share the court data with them, and I want another set of eyes to say, where are we getting it right and where can we improve, so that they can hold me accountable. Because each quarter I'm going to say, okay, I've got my marching orders. These are the things I'm going to be working on. And when I come back to them, if I haven't done it, I want them to say, Ray, what's going on?
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. It holds me accountable, but it also gives me another set of eyes to say, what am I missing? Right? Where can we get better? But it also allows more people from the community to get the peek behind that curtain to say, how does the court actually run? And they can go out and say, oh, wait, if somebody's giving some misinformation, they could say, no, that's not really how it works. Mm-hmm. This is how it works. And I know because I sit on the council. Right? So that's one thing. Another thing is I want to make sure that the courtroom doors are unlocked. Mm-hmm. They play this game, right? I get it. COVID, we had to lock some doors because we had to make sure that we understood the flow of people coming in and out. But COVID's over. Mm-hmm. And what we still do is we have courtroom doors that are locked. This is a public forum. We own the courthouse. It belongs to the public.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you can go in there and sit and just watch cases. Mm-hmm. But they'll lock the doors. Or they'll lock the right-hand side of the door because they know most people are right-handed. You only know that the left-hand side is open if you're really down there frequently. Or when you come in, you're automatically met by a marshal saying, well, what case are you here for? Well, you don't have to be there for any case. You could just be there to observe. But if you don't know that and you're unsure of yourself, you're automatically intimidated. Yes. Our courtroom doors need to be unlocked. People need to be welcomed and encouraged to come in and observe proceedings, because what occurs behind closed and locked doors is always going to be mistrusted. I also want to share the court's data. I want to have a completely separate public portal where anybody can go on at any time and look at what my court's recidivism rates are, how many people are coming through, what percentage of folks have been kept in custody, how many have been released, how many cases are coming in. You have a right to know that. You pay my salary, you pay to keep that court running. Mm-hmm. We're spending millions of dollars on programs that are not effective. Yeah. You have a right to know that. Yeah. So all of that needs to be public information. Try to find out what a court's recidivism rates are right now. You can't. In fact, some judges will tell you we can't keep that information. That is just a lie. It's just an outright lie. You can track that information if you want to, but there are a lot of judges that don't want to be held accountable to that. Yeah. So I want all of that information out in the light. And then if I'm not holding my end of the bargain, don't rehire me. It's a job.
That's right.
Don't reelect me.
I agree. And this is one of the things that I think a lot of politicians and candidates forget, that you are a public servant.
That's right.
And you're working for the people.
Absolutely.
And so I think people should understand that when they go to vote, who are we voting for?
Yep.
What do they stand for? Do they represent all of us, the sum of us, the whole of us, or a percentage of us? And what percentage is that?
That's right.
Thank you, Ray, for explaining that. You guys, we're going to come back. We're going to just listen to one song. We're going to come back. And I want you to know that you are listening to The Flow with Her Flow on Hot 702.5. Also, we have Ray Kennedy. She's running for Municipal Court Judge, Department 1. And you guys got to go back. If you missed it, you got to go back and listen to the first part of this interview. And we will be back in a second. Thank you.
My time, you ain't gotta try. I get it. Got something on the side, you ain't gotta lie. Now with it. I'm about to roll up, tell me what's the hold up. So hit it. Let's talk about this now, I'll make it real loud.
keep it crisp. Ooh-wee, believe me, I love what you got. But I'm young and I'm dumb, running straight to the top. Leave it, color-coded, with it. Love whenever you be showing emotion, yeah, that mean I got you. To be honest, ain't a lot of chicks that really top you. And you know I'm with it, nothing to lose. You got to choose. I be around some groupies, but I'm not into those. Yeah, I want you in the picture, but you changing your pose. Banging me up, calling my phone, saying you know what I'm doing. You know you hard, you ain't moving. So tell them cats in them DMs, if I see him, my baby gon' be making a post that say free him. Cause your love worth 100 miles of running facts. Let me call this girl back.
I'ma show you I'm the best, yeah. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. I'ma show you I'm the best, yeah. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. And I'ma get it poppin'. And I can take you shopping. With me, there's no stopping, hey. With me, there's no stopping. There's no stopping, I'ma hold you in my arms. Heart was cold, now it's warm. And baby, we can beat the storm. Loving you like Boston George. And darling, you my moon, hey. Yeah, you show me the light. Get with me, I'll treat you right, hey. And I'll treat you right. Now she wanna rock and she wanna roll. Baby, I won't bend and I won't fold. And I can get you now, your heart I stole. Your heart I stole. Ooh, 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 ooh. And I want you. I'ma show you I'm the best, yeah. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. I'ma show you I'm the best, yeah. I'ma show you I'm the best. Get with me, I'll invest. Get with me, I'll invest. And I'ma get it poppin'. And I can take you shopping. With me, there's no stopping, hey. With me, there's no stopping. We can hit the lotto, lotto, lotto. We can pop a bottle, bottle, bottle. You looking like a model, model, model. Model, hey. Invest. The best. Invest. Hey.
Close your eyes. Imagine a room that doesn't just look beautiful, it feels alive. The lighting is perfect, the energy is electric, and the scent of gourmet creation is in the air. Now look around. You aren't just checking the kitchen or hovering over the guest list. You're in the moment. You're the life of the party. Welcome to the world of irresistible events and catering. In a city built on spectacle, we specialize in spectacular. At Irresistible Events and Catering, we just don't fill plates, we curate memories, because our philosophy is simple, elegant, and absolute. We plan, cater, and style any event. Why settle for ordinary when you can have the irresistible? Elevate your event at irresistibleeventslv.com. Hey, this is The Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. to listen to dope people, dope topics, and dope vibes. Hey, this is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, where we bring you the best in hip-hop, R&B, pop, and talk. Tune in. Hey. Thank you for tuning back in. You have tuned into The Flow with Her Flow right here on Hot 702.5 FM. You guys, every week I'm here 4 p.m. blazing hot, giving you the tea, you guys, giving you the tea. So if you missed the first part of our show, we have an amazing, intelligent, beautiful woman here who was running for municipal court judge, and that's going to be in Department 1, and you guys need to listen to her. So if you missed the first part of this interview, you need to go back and listen. That's the assignment. I'm just letting you know. All right. Do your due diligence. All right. So Ray Kennedy, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I am glad you're here. I'll hug you across the.
I'm sending you hugs, girl.
Hugs. So I want to get back into what you represent. And I am just really excited about you running for judge, okay? And a lot of people should be, because you represent fairness and equality.
Yes.
I know that already, okay? I've seen you in another venue. So let me ask you this. How do you ensure that you, yourself, remain impartial, especially in high-stake situations?
That's a great question. So there's a couple of things that I have done and will do to maintain that. The first thing is, even before you get elected, you have to surround yourself with people who are going to call you on your crap. And so my definition of friend is somebody that's not just a yes person. Mm-hmm. My definition of friend is somebody who's going to tell me when I'm wrong, who's going to tell me when I am tripping. Right?
We need that.
We need that. We need that, right?
Yeah.
I've never been the kind of person who wants somebody around me who's going to tell me, yeah, you're right. Yeah, oh yeah, no, they're wrong.
Yeah.
Nope, I need you to tell me the real.
Your accountability partner.
That's right.
Yes.
And so trust and believe, my best friend will tell me. In fact, she enjoys telling me that I'm wrong, right? So you surround yourself with people who will give you a reality check. The second thing is you have to make sure that you are grounded, because when you decide to run, it is really easy to start to drink the Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. And in fact, in this race in particular, it's been a couple of times now I've called my girlfriends and said, I need a reality check. I need a grounding. I was at this event and I said this thing, and because it is a slippery slope to start saying things that you think people want to hear because you want to get elected. Mm-hmm. But to me, it is as important for me how I get elected as it is to get elected. The ends don't justify the means for me.
Right.
So I'm not just going to say what someone wants to hear to get the vote, even though I so firmly believe that I can do so much good on the bench. I still need to do it the right way. So if that means it's going to take me longer to get there, I'm willing for it to take longer to get there. So whenever I feel like, wait a minute, did I just do what I don't want to do? Did I hit that slippery slope? Did I just say something that could be interpreted as being manipulative? Let me get a reality check. I will do that. It hasn't happened often, but every now and again, and they will say to me, no, that's not. Let me reframe it for you, because I'm so hard on myself when it comes to that. They have to tell me, no, that's not what happened, Ray. This is what happened. And then the third thing is I have studied so much. So it goes back to undergrad, right? Psychology, sociology, social work. I'm fascinated with why people do what they do, including my own self. Mm-hmm. And so it's important for you to have insight into who you are and why you do what you do. And then on top of that, I have studied for the past 10 years a ton of different diversity, equity, anti-racism, justice, inclusion trainings to make sure that I am checking my biases, because we all have them. It's actually a psychological phenomenon. Our brain works that way. And a bias is okay. It just means preference, right? Mm-hmm, if you like pepperoni over sausage, that's okay. Mm-hmm. But you have to know that you have them so that you can keep them in check. If you don't, that's when they start to control or affect your behavior in ways that you aren't anticipating. So when I'm aware of it, then I can make sure that I'm remaining fair, I'm remaining impartial, I'm remaining equitable. And I'm very cognizant of saying equitable, right, and not equal, right? I'm going to be very clear that when people come into my courtroom, I'm not going to treat them all the same, because they're not all the same human being. People need to be given individualized responses to their behavior because they all have different reasons why they behaved a certain way. And I'll give you an example. If somebody decides to speed and they come into my courtroom and they say, yep, Judge, I was speeding and I really have no good excuse, okay? And they're making $37,000 a year. And the next person comes into my courtroom and they say the same thing. You know what, Judge? I really have no reason. I was just speeding. But they're making $370,000 a year. If I treat them equally, that means they're both going to be given the same fine amount. Well, that fine amount is going to disproportionately affect the one making $37,000, right? It's not really going to hurt the one making $370,000. Right. And the point of responding to a person's behavior is to deter them from doing it in the future. So I have to make an individual determination. If I find the person making $37,000, $500, that's a lot to them. $500 to someone making $370,000 is nothing. How am I deterring them? How am I giving them any incentive to not do that again in the future? No, I have to treat them equitably, fairly. What would be fair is to give the person who makes more a little more so that they stop and think the next time they're considering, pedal to the metal. That's what I intend to do. People don't have to be treated exactly the same, and they shouldn't be. Otherwise, we're not taking individual circumstances into account. So that's how I'm going to make sure that I'm keeping things fair and I'm grounded when I walk into my courtroom every day to respond to what's in front of me.
And I think that's a reasonable, fair, and just response.
I think so too.
Perspective. Yeah. I do.
Thank you.
And I do want to know. So let's bring it. Let's bring it down a little bit, notch or two. I'm going to ask you a funny question.
Okay.
Let's go here. But before we do that, there was something that you added when I saw you at the last event that I was at about court fees. And you made a statement about people shouldn't have to pay, on top of paying their ticket, court fees, $5 charges, whatever that fee is. Can you explain that? Can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So when I worked at municipal court as an administrator, at that time we were charging I think it was a $1, and it was a nominal technology fee that was added on if you wanted to pay by credit card. So people always had the option to come down in person and pay by cash or check with no extra fee. But if you wanted to pay online, there was basically like a convenience fee, which a lot of people are used to, but it was a really nominal fee. And that amount that was being charged was being collected to go towards the new case management system that the court was building. Well, that case management system is now up and running, although we can have a whole separate conversation about whether it's been successful, because it hasn't been. But it's now up and running. Right? There aren't any, we don't need any additional fees to pay for that, okay? I'm going to say about a month ago, I was down at the courthouse, the municipal courthouse, to do some filming for my campaign. It was a Friday. All of our municipal services are closed on Friday, whether it's Las Vegas, Henderson, North Las Vegas. And I saw several people come up trying to get into the courthouse. And after a few, I thought, let me ask them what they're here for. So I started to ask, and they were like, well, I'm here to pay my fine. And two things became clear to me. One, it wasn't, the court was not clearly communicating that they were not open on Fridays, because this many people shouldn't be coming down thinking they could get in, which, by the way, they weren't, because then I pulled up the website, and it's nowhere on their website is their hours, which is crazy. And then the second thing was, I said, well, why don't you just pay it online? And they said, well, they charge a 5% surcharge. Well, if you're paying, a $300 fine, that could start to add up, right? People don't just have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 extra dollars to pay a surcharge. I don't know when this 5% surcharge was decided, but I do know who it was decided by, and that was the judges, because they're the gatekeepers for those rules. And that's unfair to me. That disproportionately negatively affects our lower income people. Right? Because again, if we look at our $37,000 versus $307,000, somebody making $370,000, it means nothing to them for a 5% surcharge, right? But the people who are making less money, they're the ones that are coming down on Friday thinking, I'll just go and pay it in person. And lo and behold, it's not open. And each of them was disappointed because they had all paid for parking to come down there, and only to find that the courthouse doors are locked, right? So we don't need that because we have a court ruling, a Nevada Supreme Court ruling that says the city of Las Vegas is required to pay the bills of the municipal court, whether they bring in $1 in fines and fees or no dollars in fines and fees or $1 million in fines and fees. The bills will get paid. So that begs the question, why are we charging a surcharge? We're not in the business of making money off of our community. So why are we doing that?
Correct.
Right?
Correct. I agree.
That's fundamentally unfair to me, and it should stop immediately.
Yeah. And that's what I heard from you. That was big for me as well. Now, I have a question for you, Ray.
Yes.
You ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I want to know, what is one of the funniest moments that you've had in the courtroom, if you can find anything, just to lighten the load a little bit, that you can kind of just tell us? You were just like,
Okay, I hope this translates, but let me tell you, when I was a criminal defense attorney, some of these stories you couldn't make up, right? Like, life is so much more funny than any movie. But I was a criminal defense attorney, and the prosecutors that I worked with, so we talked about getting someone released while their case is pending, right? And I would meet with my client, and I would say, here's what I think the judge is gonna want to set for bail. What do you have? What are your resources? So I have an idea. And I had a gentleman, and he was saying he was charged with burglary. He was charged with going into a business and stealing like some copper from them. And I'm getting all this information, and he says, no, I have a job. I already talked to my boss. He's gonna let me come back. All of these things that would lend the judge to believe he's stable and he'll come back to court, because there's only two legal reasons that you should make somebody pay cash bail.
Right.
And that is if you think they won't come back to court or that they're going to commit another crime while they're out. So I'm getting all this information, and we go into court, and the prosecutor makes their argument, and I start making my argument, and I'm saying, Judge, he's talked to his employer, and he's going to be able to, he still has his job, and the prosecutor says, I'm so sorry, Ray, I have to stop you. The business that's listed in the complaint is his employer. He stole from his employer. And I looked right at my client, and I don't have a filter sometimes. And I said, you don't think you could have told me that before we got here into the courtroom? And he just looked at me and said, I'm sorry, Attorney Kennedy. My bad. And I just was like, I can't make this up, sir. I thought we were a team here.
Yeah.
You got to tell me don't bury the lead. Yes. You got to tell me the important stuff.
Now.
So this is the stuff that happens.
That is, yeah.
I'm going to town. I'm thinking I'm gonna get him out, and it's your employer.
It's your employer.
Okay.
Oh,
all
man.
right.
Oh
Yep.
man.
Yep.
And I wish you could stay longer, but I definitely have one more question for you, and this is just for our listening audience, because I want to know too. I know that everybody has a dream job, and I know this is really, you enjoy doing what you do, right?
I do.
I know you are very passionate about it, right? But let's say you had a dream job. What would that be other than this?
Other than this, it would probably be like an investigative reporter uncovering the same stuff, pretty much, right? It really would be like uncovering corruption in our criminal legal system. That would probably be it.
Girl, you're doing that right now. Thank
Pretty
you.
much. Seriously.
You're doing that right now. So, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for answering all the questions very efficiently. And I really loved this interview. And I love you. And I thank you. I appreciate you. And I know you're going to be great for the community and great for everybody.
Thank you.
Okay?
I am so honored to be here.
That.
Thank you so much. And
yes.
I hope your listeners appreciated it, loved it.
They
I love
better.
being here. Listen, if they listen, I'm grateful, and I thank them. And if they live in the city of Las Vegas, I would be honored to earn their votes.
Yes, thank you so much. You guys, you have listened to Ray Kennedy, who is running for municipal court judge, Department 1. You guys, please get out and vote. The primaries are important, okay? They're the meat. They're important, okay? You have been listening to Her Flow right here on the floor on Hot 702.5 FM, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. You're listening to Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. Tune in to The Flow, where we're bringing you the best in hip-hop, R&B, and talk.